A goal by James O'Connor as well, the first time since they scored in what was Steve Cotterill's first taste of a Preston-Burnley affair. They went on to win that game, and that's the only victory that Steve Cotterill has tasted. 45 minutes between him and another sweet, sweet smell of success. Here's Whaley. I'm sure that he's a player that Preston will want to see on the ball a little bit more. The wonderful goal-scoring run that he's in at the moment. He's certainly a player who can get them back in it. Followed the same footballing route as the suspended David Nugent. Came from Bury, but he's outscored the main man this season. He's the top scorer, Simon Whaley, and here he is now looking for Achaman. Great burst from midfield by Sedgwick, which has opened it up for Achaman. Danny Pugh now. Swept away as far as Andy Gray. Now Steve Jones. Beyond Alexander, like he wasn't there. Whaley is back to help out, but it's still Jones. And an intelligent switch of play by Burnley for Sinclair. In towards Noel Williams. It's a lovely dummy. It's Andy Gray. Just couldn't get his shot away. It's away for a corner.
Well, he gives St Ledger a chance to get back in this. This is a great over from gifted Noel Williams to his strike partner. He just thought that he got himself half a yard, but watch the concentration of Sean St Ledger. He tries to go that way, he comes back again, and that's a great leg.
Burnley looking to pick up where they left off in the first half. They've got this corner. Elliott will take. Hyde.
Now this is the reason why you put people on the post, just in case the goalkeeper misses it. He doesn't miss it, but if he does, just watch Danny Pugh after Wayne Thomas's strike. They nearly collide with each other. He's there if his goalkeeper misses it, but his goalkeeper's alert and he gets it.
But in a wonderful way for Wayne Thomas to announce his arrival back on the scene. Question marks as to whether he would come back in after such a long layoff. What with the international break, the 4-game ban that he's served has meant he hasn't played any championship football for a month. Stephen Foster, the summer arrival from Crewe, played in the last match, but he's among the Burnley substitutes tonight. Potential flashpoint as Dicchio gets involved. Thomas has come forward, and did Dicchio just hit out at him? Certainly there's something here for the referee Steve Tanner to sort out.
He'll be off. Danny Dicchio will be off here because he's right underneath the referee, and just watch him shove an arm out towards Wayne Thomas when he comes over to him. We'll see in a second. There's the challenge. He does clamber over the back of him, Duff. He stands on his arm, whatever. He sees it initially, and then he shoved an arm out at Wayne Thomas, which is the one that could have got him off, not the initial reaction.
Critical moment in this match. What colour will Steve Tanner's card be?
Well, the fact that he's talking to him suggests that it's only going to be a yellow. Normally it's straight out with the red if you're off.
A card to match the colour of the Preston shirts, and a mighty sigh of relief. It will ensure that Danny Dicchio has to face a ban. But it would have been a longer ban had the card been of a different colour. Free kick has gone Preston's way. He's been in the wars tonight, Danny Dicchio. Suspected broken nose in the first half, which we gather is okay. But a let-off there for him, perhaps. It's McKenna in. It's come off Harley. He had some spills, but he's got a chance to recover and clear. Appeals for handball. The referee's assistant spotted that one. Chilvers with the free kick for Preston. Dicchio the target. The goal scorer O'Connor to clear. Andy Gray with the most notable chance of the match coming early in the second half for him. Wade Elliott, Sinclair in support. In towards Gray. O'Connor again, trying to set up gift to Noel Williams, just taken off the toes of Andy Gray. And Preston defence creaks, but it does survive. And a good challenge that is in a game like this from Whaley. And he seemed to be caught afterwards.
Yeah, he was caught by James O'Connor. Referee allowed the advantage.
Full of endeavour, fast, frantic, and with a little edge developing in this second half. Whaley. The Burnley players waited for it. McKenna didn't. Dicchio now out-muscled by Micah Hyde. John Harley.
Well, the game's a bit spicy now.
Pressure from Gray enough to force Chilvers to roll it out. Rattling Preston's cage at the moment, Burnley.
Yeah, if they could start feeling sorry for themselves, they want to punish them. That's how they feel at the moment, Burnley.
Launched in by Harley. St Ledger jumped, but did he pull back on Andy Gray? Some appeals from the Burnley fans.
He is all over Andy Gray. He's got two arms, St Ledger, on his shoulders. Just watch, he's feeling him, but look at that, right over the top of him. He can't get the ball because the ball's dropping short, and it's anywhere else on the pitch. It's a foul. Well, Danny Dicchio, he had every right to be upset when he gets stamped on here by Michael Duff. Michael Duff came to the back of him, and that elbow that come out, I thought, right in front of the referee, I thought he would be in trouble for that, but the referee has allowed him off.
He's certainly fired up, Danny Dicchio, as are several of the men in Claret too. It's not a derby that needed any spice adding to it in terms of the build-up to the match, but now we've got a real rumbustious second half in prospect.
Well, they've just got to settle down, Preston, now. They don't need to get involved in a scrap. Just let their football do the talking. I'm sure that's what Paul Simpson will be screaming from that touchline.
Whaley. This is Chris Sedgwick now. It was a wonderful volley in the first half, the closest Preston have come to a goal. Burnley's industry and pressing, not allowing Preston to play any of the football that they are used to being able to do this season. Just seen them embark on this wonderful unbeaten run. 11 games now in the Championship.
Well, they're happier if it turns into a war, because they can scrap better than Preston. Preston can play the better football. That's what they've got to get back to doing. He knows that. That's how he likes his team to play.
Wouldn't fall for Achaman, and that was in no small part due to the contribution of Wayne Thomas. And a free kick for Burnley. You'd expect that Burnley will be well used to soaking up the pressure. You don't have an unbeaten record away from home without being able to survive against the odds. So the only side in the Championship, incidentally, Burnley, to have that record.
Trying to take the law into his own hands now, Andy Gray.
Gray. Used his hands to control it.
He's too busy thinking about St Ledger now. His arms were waiting for him and he didn't turn up.
McKenna, that's your man looking to get beyond Thomas. And Thomas just did enough. He needed a little bit of assistance from Jensen.
I'll talk about trying to put your goalkeeper in trouble. That's what Wayne Thomas is doing here. He doesn't put enough on the ball. He matches Aguiman for pace as well. But that's short for the goalkeeper. He has every right to go for it.
Disappointing deliveries at some point from Preston during the first half. Can they get it right early in this second? Away by Micah Hyde. Sedgwick. Whaley impeded by Micah Hyde, but not unfairly. Pugh. Chilvers. Whaley. St Ledger's in there, setting it up for Simon Whaley.
Well, they're getting better. They're improving. It's a wonderful cross from Danny Pugh to the far post to Chilvers. And he didn't really put anything on that, Simon Whaley, but when it comes back to me, he's got to try and fashion a yard of space. He just gets right underneath the ball. Look at the Burnley players closing him down, 3 of them.
2 goals in his last 3 games. That right foot of his has produced some excellent goals so far this season, but well over that time. There's a start to this second half which really rattled Preston. The incident involving Danny Dichio, the close shave, that effort from Andy Gray. As Noel Williams and Gray combined well, and they've done that on a couple of occasions tonight.
The last couple of moves has just settled Preston down a little bit. It's not a scrap anymore, they're trying to play their football.
Burnley trying to stop them, but in vain here as Whaley tears forward again. O'Connor. And Micah Hyde, advantage play. Wade Elliott. And Sinclair. Good sweeping move this by Burnley. Wade Elliott. It's beautiful, but it's wide in the end by Andy Gray. What a goal that would have been. What a goal it should have been.
What a move. Absolutely superb. The best move of the game. This little ball from Frank Sinclair is beautiful. And watch the touch here from Elliott. That's magnificent. And then the ball to Andy Gray. He's not the right side, Graham Alexander, but it doesn't affect the header at all. It's a free header for Andy Gray. Can he keep it on target? The answer is no. Oh, he thought it was on its way.
Whaley, will that galvanise Preston into some sort of action? Duff, who feels he's playing the best football since he made the step up to the Championship.
Well, it's a game now, that's one thing for certain. He's still fuming. He knows his side can play a lot better. Still time, still plenty of time.
Frank Sinclair just geeing up the Turf Moor crowd as if they need it. This is the fixture they look for at the start of the season, and the 3 points, well, they'll still be celebrating it till these 2 sides meet again in March. Still half an hour to negotiate. Here's Harley.
Well, there's some players you say don't even think about that, but John Harley's got a record of long distance strikes. That's why he takes us on. It's not too far away either.
One so far to his name this season, got one in the home win against Barnsley. That was the game that Gifton Noel Williams really announced his return to the scene for Burnley. Came off the bench to score a hat-trick and started every single league game since then. Duff with the free kick. St Ledger defended that one well. McKenna trying to manoeuvre some space for himself, but in the end, falls to Sedgwick. Dicchio, bound for Achiman.
It's a great header from Danny Dicchio. There's three people around him when he gets his header in, but he's looking for his strike partner. He finds him.
Well, there's one man that they're missing tonight who's got a great view from among the Preston supporters. There he is, David Nugent. 1 red and 7 yellow cards this season. And frustratingly for Paul Simpson, most of those for unnecessary offences, dissent and things like that.
You're always going to miss a player of that quality, but let's not write them off just yet. Another half an hour to go yet.
St Ledger. Worth reminding you that Preston have this wonderful record in coming from behind. 10 points they've won from losing positions. Best record in the Championship. Twice they've won, including their last away match against Ipswich when they were 2-0 down, scored 3 times in 12 minutes. Looks like it might not be too much longer before Paul Simpson decides just to shake things up with a substitution. Achiman hasn't played a lot of football recently. He's the man to make way, and Lewis Neal comes off the bench again, a serial substitute for Preston this season.
His night tonight, Patrick Achiman.
A slight change in formation. Whaley looks to have gone and joined Danny Dicchio up front, but it's at the other end of the field that Preston need to focus their attentions. McKenna, Dicchio. And that's the way that Paul Simpson will be looking for it to combine. The knock-on from Dicchio, and Whaley trying to get onto it. St Ledger again forced into last-ditch action with Andy Gray looming. Sinclair, one of those that could have gone anywhere. Sedgwick got it high into the Lancashire sky, and the shot from Hyde as well wide.
They're trying to get themselves on the end of everything. James O'Connor attempt to try and get on the end of this ball that's in the air, which is what's unsettling Preston. Just bounce to Micah Hyde, but it's way off target.
There's the knock-on from Dicchio again for Whaley. Looked to return the favour, but James O'Connor was there. Now Gray. This is Graham Alexander now, the Preston captain. Dicchio. Sedgwick. The way the game's gone so far, Chris, one of the things that might disappoint Paul Simpson is the lack of real opportunities they've created.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that, but one thing about them, as you said, they've shown character. They will get a chance at some stage.
Will that chance come before Burnley have created another one and taken one? Gray's had 2 excellent opportunities in this second half. A header wide and a shot blocked by St Ledger. Still, that O'Connor goal is the difference. Wade Elliott now. Gray is calling for it. Might just open up for Elliott, though. The deflection took it into the path of Sean St Ledger. O'Connor. O'Connor again for Elliott.
They're getting more confident. Look at them popping it around now.
McKenna in with a challenge, no foul. Here comes Frank Sinclair. And Frank Sinclair looks to have hurt himself in that. He's got his hand up. And looks like he's signalling he's not going to be able to continue. Tame clearance by Chilvers. Here's Elliott. Andy Gray still in the middle. Clearance completed by Lewis Neal, but it comes right back at Preston. Now here's Pugh up against an injured Sinclair. Doesn't look comfortable at all, does he? Whaley does on the ball as he comes forward.
Gone the wrong way, Simon Whaley there. That's the ball he should have played.
Pugh now in towards Dicchio. None of them knew where it was, and out comes Brian Jensen. Now what's going to happen here with Frank Sinclair?
Looks as if he's going to carry on. Until the goalkeeper put it out of play, but Wayne Thomas is also injured in that melee. That's just cramped from Wayne Thomas. Well, he felt this as he tossed that ball into the box, whether he jarred his ankle as he crossed it.
Well, I always say, Preston, despite the amount of training you can do, and Thomas will have done plenty as he served his suspension over the last month or so, you can't recreate the full match atmosphere, and maybe that catching up with him. Of more concern is the injury to Sinclair. Well, he gets treatment. A chance to remind you as to what we have this Sunday. More championship action. Ipswich against Luton from 1 o'clock. Sky Sports 1. You can get that in high definition as well, channel 408. And then following, massive game in the Premiership for West Ham and Alan Pardew as they take on Blackburn. 3:30 again in high definition on HD1 and Sky Sports 1 as well. Moving a little easier now, Frank Sinclair, as he makes his way over to this near side. A quarter of this match left for Burnley to hold on to their lead, or perhaps even improve on it.
I thought he might carry on. He's one of those characters. Just from Preston's point of view, he's got to start getting in behind Burnley, giving Danny Dicchio an opportunity.
Encouraging signs from a Preston perspective with this new look front combination. Dicchio this time fouled Wayne Thomas as he looked to bring in Simon Whaley.
It's a good performance from Burnley. Sections of the field, they look quite strong. The fact that they're taking more chances to try and get a second goal could be of advantage to Preston.
May yet be another change to this Preston front line. Brett Ormerod, and part of Paul Simpson's plans again now after recovering from a broken leg. Had to make a start since the recovery, broken in the playoff, you might remember, the defeat against Leeds United last season. Been a long road back, but with the suspension for Nugent, great support to be able to bring off the bench.
Well, he's looked at Danny Dicchio, he's got a yellow card. Getting involved with Wayne Thomas, let's give him a different striker to work with now. Brett Ormerod loves the ball over the top.
He's a player as well, I know, all about Lancastrian rivalry. Started off his footballing career just a couple of miles down the road at Accrington Stanley before he got the move to Blackpool, which started off his Football League career. This move started off by this steal from Wade Elliott, and he was caught very late by Pugh. It'll be a yellow card and no complaints.
He's only sliding in to win it. It's all or nothing. He ends up with nothing. There's no malice. His feet are on the ground, and it's just a yellow card, nothing more. Maybe that left leg was higher than I thought it was, to be fair. And it certainly is.
Yellow card number 2 for Preston. The man who got the first, Danny Dichio, has since departed. It's height that Preston are without to defend set pieces like this, that of Dichio, and it comes from Elliott. Floated back into the mix. Thomas is in there, and an intervention important from McKenna, and O'Connor's shot saved.
It's a brilliant challenge from Paul McKenna on Steve Jones. Steve Jones just think, when this drops here, I'm popping this into the net. Look at that for a challenge from McKenna, and O'Connor waiting for the bits and pieces once again.
Preston fans still waiting for their side's comeback to really take shape. Still it's Burnley who look the most likely to score. Just look at those efforts on target to illustrate that point. It's their only real effort of note in the first half, that from James O'Connor, which gave them the lead. In this second, they've looked much more convincing in attack, and that sweeping move which led to the header wide by Andy Gray was a delight. Still just the one goal in it, though. Ormerod the target. Doesn't quite carry the punch that Dichio does up front. Whaley. Noel Williams for Andy Gray. And now Harley. Steve Jones. Harley's continued his run. Jones couldn't find a way through to him. Matt Hill. Hasn't been many opportunities for him to get forward this evening. Whaley. Well, he touched it beyond Duff, but there was no way he was getting beyond him.
That's a foul, no doubt about it. He doesn't know what's behind him, Michael Duff, so he decides to take all.
McKenna. To be the midfield conductor to a Preston fight back. Lewis Neal. Sinclair attacked it with more conviction than Simon Whaley. Burnley closing in on their 4th consecutive clean sheet, that of much more importance, 3 points. Steve Cotterill insisted 3 points are just 3 points, but to the supporters packed in here tonight for Burnley, there will be a lot more. Ormerod's onside here, though. Whaley waits in the middle, and Pugh misses it completely. Matt Hill now. McKenna. Blocked by Sinclair. And Sedgwick again. It was Alexander actually who hit it. An excellent effort.
Oh, it's a brilliant strike, isn't it? But this is a beautiful run. Look at Brett, he's definitely onside. Frank Sinclair plays him on. Great vision from Graham Alexander, and then Pugh misses his strike. This has given them a lift to get themselves back into it. And beautiful technique once again from Alexander. Brian Jensen's got to watch it all the way, and the fingertips get it over.
Here's the resulting corner. Too much adrenaline coursing through.
Well, he's never going to be beaten by the strike from Graham Alexander, he knows that, but he can't be certain whereabouts it's going to go, so fingertips has just got to get it over the bar.
He's in his best defensive form of the season. 7 goals in 3 games before this run of clean sheets Burnley had conceded.
Now this is the best spell now that they've added the second half. Preston just got themselves a lift. Burnley beware.
Alexander, Ormerod, Whaley, 1-1. Simon Whaley just can't stop scoring at the moment. What a vital goal that is for Preston.
What a magnificent strike, and what a beautiful move. We knew it was coming, you just felt it, because Burnley had given them everything they've got, and Graham Alexander once again behind it all. It's a beautiful ball to Brett Ormerod. It's a lovely knockdown to his strike partner now, Simon Whaley. But you've got to keep this down. The concentration's got to be good. It's got to be in the corner and away from the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper doesn't see it because there's bodies in the way. When he does see it, there's too much pace on it for him to stop it, and it's 1 each. Look at Paul Simpson. Oh, we're back in it. Yeah, beauty. 1 each.
The comeback kings have done it again. And all of a sudden the pendulum swings back towards the west side of the M65. Preston will now feel they can go on and win this. Harley. This is Elliott. Now Mahon. Jensen powerless to prevent the corner. Thomas down again though. Looks to be a repeat of that cramp.
He's flat out, isn't he? He's had enough. I can't go on anymore. I've done my time. Thank you very much.
Well, they have a tailor-made replacement on the bench in Steve Foster.
He got a knock. He got a knock. It wasn't just a cramp. He got a knock on the back of his knee from Simon Whaley there. That's what character they've got. Preston, it's been instilled to them by the manager, and basically Burnley will look back and think we should have put them out of sight, but they didn't. And at 1-0 you knew they always had a chance. He knew that. Look at the smiles on the bench now.
Well, of concern for this match and also for the future if it is a bad injury to Wayne Thomas. We've already got John McGreal out for 6 weeks or so with a knee injury. Thomas is off, Burnley down to 10, and Preston have this corner. Can they complete what would be a remarkable turnaround? It's in from McKenna, it's loose, and it's in from Brett Ormerod! Sheer derby delight for Preston. They have come from behind and lead at Turf Moor.
Ah, they certainly have. What absolutely magnificent character from this side, and they've got their bit of luck once again. Frank Sinclair will think, how have I not cleared this ball? What am I doing? When this ball lands on my head, how can it go back towards Brett Ormerod? It's got to go up the park. It doesn't. It goes straight onto the chest of Brett, and all Brett does is react magnificently like good strikers do. Waits for it to bounce down and just plots it into that bottom corner, slots it as well, and once again, look at him jumping around. What a goal!
It's his 300th career appearance, Brett Ormerod, his first goal of the season. But more importantly for Preston, they have turned this game on its head in the space of 3 minutes. Can Burnley come off the ropes?
Look at the difference. Stevie Cotterill looking at his papers, thinking, where did it all go wrong? And Paul Simpson just thinking, that's my boys.
Well, at 1-0 down as Burnley were looking to boss it, you wouldn't have seen this. In comes Sinclair's cross. What a great cross! It's put in to his own net by Ledger. And Burnley have shown a wonderful response. 2-2.
Well, if Frank Sinclair had a nightmare on the Brett Ormerod goal, he deserves applaudits for this ball into the box, because it is one of those that's saying to the defenders, if you don't deal with this, Andy Gray will deal with it, and he doesn't deal with it properly, St Ledger. All he can do, because of the pace on it, is aim it back in towards that bottom corner of his own goal. You can see Carlo Nash immediately knows he's beaten. Bottom corner, and it's 2-2.
After a slow first half, the second has caught fire. What a few minutes we're having here at Turf Moor. The sort of game you don't want to end now. St Ledger, well, it's not his first own goal of the season, got one in the defeat at Norwich, Preston's only defeat so far this season. Duff is back there, alongside, still looks a half-fit Wayne Thomas. Lewis Neal. The target is Whaley.
Well, Graham Alexander, another player who's made up for the mistake, because he's been instrumental in everything that's been good about Preston in the second half since they picked the game up, and that's another lovely ball towards Simon Whaley.
You often hear the talk about character within football teams, but these two managers have certainly shown the character they've instilled, and St Ledger was late there. Going to be a yellow card for St Ledger.
Well, I thought he had half a chance of winning it, just followed through on the strike. More accidental and meant, that one.
Time for a change, a double change in fact for Burnley. No surprise to see Wayne Thomas go off. Steve Foster's the man who'll come on and slot in at the back. Going to make another change as well here, Steve Cotterill and his side. Gift and Noel Williams, who was patched up to start this match, has given 83 minutes of everything but can give no more, and Kyle Lafferty, the young Irish striker, his replacement. The teenager from Belfast.
Terrific prospect.
No one could get on the end after Duff played such an inviting header back across goal. Now O'Connor. 2 Des wins really in the closing stages.
Nobody's settling for the draw, that's for sure.
Foster. Andy Gray. Here comes Sinclair. Goes for goal.
Well, it opened up for him. Why not have a go, Frank?
Well, after they surrender that 1-goal lead, you would have thought that Burnley had given everything and would have found it hard to get away back into the game, but find a way back they did. That wonderful ball in from Sinclair. Simpson Ledger. Whaley. That's a lovely turn. He's taken two Burnley defenders out of play. Hit the back of Brett Ormerod. The yellow forward momentum can continue.
He showed his quality up front. Simon Whaley looks a real threat when you give him a free roll up that middle.
He broke down really that Preston attack on another loose ball from Chris Sedgwick, a tired ball. Danny Pugh, one of the players booked, comes off as Preston use the final throw of the dice. And Callum Davidson, another one who has been struggling with injury, is his replacement. Well, if anyone was in any doubt as to why these two teams are in the top four of the Championship, they've shown many of the qualities, particularly in this second half, as to answer those questions. A little bit of quality here and there, and a whole load of resilience and character. It's often hard, I suppose, to show your quality in a full pelt derby game like this, and Preston certainly will feel they haven't played their best football tonight, but the way they got back into it, got ahead, and looked like at least getting a point out of the game as we approach the last couple of minutes.
He's got good people. They're good characters, the Burnley lads, the Preston lads. Burnley lads are as well, but certainly Paul Simpson knew on that touchline that they'd have a little spell.
Maybe just hoping they can have another. This is great. No-nonsense challenge by Micah Hyde. Gray the target. He's done enough to keep the move alive. Steve Jones here. Lafferty in the middle, and it's in! Andy Gray with the final touch, which sends Turf Moor into delirium.
Well, there was a foul in the build-up to that. Simpson Ledger got knocked to the ground in this particular instance, and the referee doesn't give him a foul. Just there, Andy Gray nicks the back of his heels, but he doesn't hang about after that, Andy Gray. He gets himself into a position in the box, and what a beautiful little touch when this ball comes across from Steve Jones. It's just nicked beautifully across and over the top of Carlo Nash. He has absolutely no chance with that. The flick is decisive. You can see the goalkeeper. He's coming for the cross. He can't get it, and look at that, Cotterill. We won it, we lost it, we won it again.
He's had his chances tonight, hasn't he, Andy Gray? And when it really matters, he gets the decisive touch. Wade Elliott's contribution for the night is over. Alan Mahon, another veteran of Lancashire affairs, times with Wigan in particular. Do Preston have anything left in the tank to salvage a point from this? Their unbeaten run is hanging in the balance. 4 minutes for them to keep it going. And to avoid giving Paul Simpson the taste of defeat for only the second time since he took over Preston in the summer from Billy Davis. Not defended well, and it nearly led in Ormerod.
Just couldn't sort his feet out there, Brett. That landed right at his feet.
Nervous times for Burnley here as Preston try and turn the screw. Ormerod again, the man in the middle. Good work by Lewis Neal, and it's Micah Hyde who comes out to clear it up. The referee took a good look and decided no case to answer. Mahon upended. Again, no case to answer. He hasn't given a free kick there either. Whaley. Hill. McKenna. Sinclair's given it straight back to Matt Hill. Burnley with everyone bar Carl Lafferty back in defensive duty. Here's Chris Sedgwick trying to just create a chance, an inch of space to get his shot away. It's frantic stuff. A cup-tie finish to a quite extraordinary Lancashire derby.
It's been a fabulous second half of football. Preston showed unbelievable character to get themselves in front, and then his team just went up another gear.
Lafferty's done so well here, and Burnley squander the opportunity first time to finish it all off. McKenna can't get it clear. Here's Micah Hyde. On by Foster. Harley, this is Mahon. Sinclair, time running out for Preston. Callum Davison. Extraordinary the way this second half has ebbed and flowed, particularly the last quarter of an hour of it. Burnley looking good value for their one-goal lead. Back came Preston with two quick-fire efforts, Whaley and Ormerod, in the space of 3 minutes. You could have forgiven Burnley for being down and out, but not at all. St. Ledger own goal and Andy Gray's finish. Looks like putting the gloss on the 3 points for the home side.
Terrific excitement in the second half. Anxiety now. There won't be in any rush at all to take this. Burnley.
The celebrations have already started among Turf Moor's biggest crowd of the season. And the referee's whistle ensures these celebrations can start in the dugout and on the pitch. A wonderful Lancashire derby. Steve Cotterill's side ahead, then behind, and when it really mattered at the finishing line, with the vital goal from Andy Gray to seal all 3 points. All started off right at the death of the first half by James O'Connor's opportunistic finish, following up where others couldn't. And all finished off by Andy Gray. Paul Simpson sees his unbeaten run end on the home of his closest rivals. A first taste of this particular derby for him. Looked like it might yield something after Whaley and then Ormerod got their goals, but ended up yielding nothing after an own goal from Sean St. Ledger and a winner from Andy Gray. Full time at Turf Moor, a jubilant Turf Moor. Burnley 3, Preston 2.
Thanks to Bill Leslie and Chris Kamara. Great second half. Loved all that. Burnley up to 25 points, stay in 4th position. Preston only their 2nd defeat of the season, stay on 26 points, first game of the weekend. More action from the Championship for you as well this weekend. On Sunday, Ipswich against Luton, 1 o'clock on Sky Sports 1, also in high definition. And there's West Ham against Blackburn from the Premiership, 3:30 on Sky Sports 1, also in HD. In the Coca-Cola Championship, it's Burnley 4th against Preston 2nd, live from Turf Moor. Commentators, Chris Kamara, Bill Leslie.
Preston are the men in yellow here at Turf Moor tonight, and also they are sporting black armbands, a lovely gesture instigated by their captain Graham Alexander. There has been a bereavement in the Preston football family. The kit man, Brian Hickson, lost his mother Joyce last Friday, and they have decided as a gesture for the kit man that they will wear the black armbands tonight. Very much indicative of the spirit that Paul Simpson has fostered since he took over at Deepdale. It's spirit they will need here, because Burnley aside flying high, although their defeats this season have all come here at Turf Moor. This will be as tough as any test that Preston have faced so far in this championship season.
Well, football clubs are families. It's as simple as that. They all live together as one, and it's been shown in the armbands tonight.
Terrifically anticipated fixture in this part of the world, and one that will certainly have an impact at the top of the table. If Preston can prevail, then they will go level on points with Cardiff. A victory for the Clarets, and they will go level with West Bromwich Albion in 3rd place. These two very much looking upwards. And who knows whether they can keep this going all the way till May.
Great atmosphere generated by all those Preston fans.
Terrific turnout on a blustery night at Turf Moor, both by the home support, who galvanised by the words of Steve Cotterill in the week. And as Chris was saying, over 3,000 Preston fans have made the 26-mile journey up the rain-lashed M65, and they are in fine voice and fine colour as well. Yellow fever is what they are calling it, to support their side here. Danny Dichio's touch on by O'Connor, and this is now Wade Elliott. Don't expect much time for any players out there on the ball early on. Andy Gray. Away by Liam Chilvers, a recent goal scorer, opening his account in the last away game against Ipswich. And across comes Sean St Ledger, unable to get it out. That could be a platform for an early Burnley attack. Chilvers away, and that came back off Noel Williams. It could have gone anywhere.
It certainly could. He doesn't anticipate it at all, Noel Williams, and he doesn't have any right to, really. You can't sort your feet out, because he expects St Ledger just to clear this ball. Liam Chilvers, sorry, just to clear this ball, and he just stands still, and it's not going anywhere once it hits him, apart from out of play.
Gift to Noel Williams, who, fortunately for Steve Cotterill and Burnley, has managed to shake off that groin problem. He was looking a doubt midweek, but training this morning, and he's been patched up and sent out. You can see why with the form he has been in, and it's been a big turnaround for Gift to Noel Williams this season. Steve Cotterill had him on the transfer list in the summer. Now he is the man they will do anything to have on the team sheet.
1 and 2 touches the order of the day so far in these opening minutes. I think you called it, Bill. There's no hanging about on the ball, because somebody will be at you straight away.
Little bit of space for Wade Elliott here as Burnley pull forward. Noel Williams in the area, just about cleared by St Ledger. It's taken McKenna back there to try and clear it away, and the referee's whistle. Steve Tanner brings the frantic passage of play to a close.
It is frantic as well. I'm not sure what he's seen here, whether there's an offside or something, but he's given something. And Graham Alexander, top-class defending there as that ball bounces up.
In his programme notes today, Steve Cotterill says Turf Moor can be an intimidating place when the supporters are in full voice. I think you can take that for granted. They are in fine voice here tonight. Sean St Ledger. Now Patrick Etcheman. On by Matt Hill. It's the 117th meeting between these two sides, stretching over the 118 years that they've contested football matches. They've met in all 4 divisions of the Football League over the years, but during the Cotterill years at Burnley, he hasn't enjoyed the best of runs in this derby. Just one defeat, and that came, just one victory I should say, and that came in his first taste of the derby. This is gift to Noel Williams now. Support coming from Gray, St Ledger across well.
There's him maturing into a very fine defender. Sean St Ledger. Barry Fry knew he had a gem at Peterborough, and he's progressed to the higher division with ease.
And with the injury that they've got to Yumawene, not really expected to play at all this season. Paul Simpson gave a real vote of confidence to his defence this week, as Burnley were linked with the former Preston player Chris Lucchetti, but Paul Simpson said we don't need any backup at the moment at the back because our young boys are doing so well. Sean St Ledger 21, Liam Chilvers 24. Not quite as mean the Preston defence as it was last season, but it is pretty much completely new look apart from Graham Alexander.
Well, Michael Duff letting Danny Dichio know he's around. Doesn't hang around too much, Danny Dichio. Watch Michael Duff come right through the back of him, lead him with the arm.
You'd expect a few challenges like that on occasions such as this. The inevitable free kick will be floated in by Paul McKenna. Preston's longest serving player decides to go short.
It's not settled at all yet. No reason why it should. Needs a lot. 4 sets of players.
Both teams intent to show that they deserve to be where they are. Terrific start to the season, Burnley's best for 5 years. David Moyes was manager of Preston the last time they started so well. That was 8 years ago. Burnley with the smallest squad in the Championship. No one really expected them to be up in the top 4 at this stage of the season. Preston, okay, they got to the playoffs last season, but particularly behind the scenes, the changes with pretty much a whole new backroom staff and certainly a new manager. It's amazing they've been able to pick up really where they left off in terms of results. Just one defeat all season, unbeaten in their last 11. McKenna, Achaman. 3 games out for him. Be interesting to see how he adapts to the harem-scarum in the opening minutes of a derby. Dichio looking to pick out Achaman.
Very tight, Michael Duff to him. As soon as he felt him there, Danny Dichio, he went down straight away. The referee quite rightly not having any of that.
Sinclair not quite getting the measure of that. It's a very blustery evening here, a biting wind blowing in off the Pennine moors all around the town of Burnley. The rain, which was torrential in the afternoon, has ceased though, and the Burnley pitch, which has had its critics over recent seasons, you think back to cup ties here against Liverpool a couple of years ago, earlier on in the season now of course, but it's pretty much immaculate. Micah Hyde, John Harley, neat passing move by Burnley, and Gifton Noel Williams' intention was a good one to feed in Gray, just didn't quite come off though. Sedgwick, Harley intercepted. Here's Whaley in such good form, he is the top scorer for Preston. And now Graham Alexander. This is a great burst forward from Alexander. He's run into something of a claret cul-de-sac. And Dichio offside. Lovely finish, but it won't count.
Well, he's not expecting Paul McKenna to win this challenge in midfield. That's how he gets himself offside. And he puts his boot right through that Paul McKenna. You can see he's just a yard off when that ball comes through. But what a lovely finish. Just to let Brian Jensen know that he's in top form.
3 goals in his last 3 games, the 31-year-old Danny Dichio. And he had to wait a long, long time. It's his first league goal for Preston against Sunderland in over 40 appearances. Now here's Whaley. Real Preston excitement every time he gets on the ball. I'm sure you'll see why as the evening progresses. No quarter given, and Adjaman uses his strength to pull clear. There's 3 men on him, so may need some support. Hoped it would come through Danny Pugh, but it wasn't quite ready for it.
Oh, the good and the bad. Patrick Adjaman there. Strength and power. No end product though.
New faces on the championship scene. The new Leeds management team, Dennis Wise and Gus Poyet, face Southend tomorrow. They are at Preston with their unbeaten home record on Tuesday night. Wade Elliott, the former Bournemouth player, will take this Burnley free kick. We have Hyde to trouble. Andy Gray very good in the air. Gifton, Noel Williams as well, and Thomas is up from the back. Came off the head of Sedgwick. Dichio thought about clearing it, got a shout from Hill, and Hill eventually got it out of the danger area. You heard Paul Simpson saying before the game that if they needed to win it ugly or compete ugly, that's exactly what they'd have to do. And certainly from situations like this, you have to earn the right to clear the ball against a Burnley side who will really look to make you pay for any slip. That'll just happen here as it comes through to Elliott. Shepherded by Whaley. Now Micah Hyde looking to dance his way through. Alexander uses his experience to clear, but the Burnley pressing is effective.
Totally unflustered when he's in those situations, Graham Alexander. You normally see defenders just looking to put this out of play, but him, he's always looking to play people in. He's got vision. Play their way out of trouble.
Preston come in, of course, higher in the championship table, also as the form team. 3 wins in 3, and they've scored 9 goals in the process in those 3 outings. Burnley unbeaten in 4, but 2 goalless draws on the bounce. They're determined to end that short, barren spell, but they have been very miserly at the back. Comfortable enough for Carlo Nash.
The best goalkeepers in the championship, Carlo Nash. Great presence.
Astonishing record he had last season, wasn't it? Just 30 goals conceded in the whole championship season. And that, not surprisingly, was a low for the division.
Certainly could play top level, has done as well. They're hoping to play there with Preston. The way they're going, it's more than a possibility.
Second in the form table overall in the championship, Preston. Only Cardiff just above them, despite the defeat that they suffered last time out against Norwich. Burnley's visit to Norwich, incidentally, the last time they conceded a goal, that late consolation by Rob Earnshaw in the game, which ultimately cost Nigel Worthington his job at Carrow Road. Whaley, it was an excellent touch, but he felt there was a push from John Harley.
Well, it had to be a foul, didn't it? Because he took the ball cleanly, and John Harley just ran into him. I don't think John Harley expected him to control it.
It was a magnificent touch. Duff. It's going to be a good battle between Dichio and Duff. And a foul on Steve Jones by Graham Alexander.
Look at the quality of Simon Whaley. Pick this one out of the sky if you can. Yes, I can. Just look at that. And there's the arm of John Harley. Just shoves him to the ground. He knows he isn't going to get it.
Away by Graham Alexander, a scorer in Preston's win here last season from the penalty spot. He's got a Wonderful record of scoring in this fixture from the spot. Graham Alexander's got 4 in total. Now Achaman. McKenna. This is gift to Noel Williams, combining with Gray and asking Jones to make the run forward to test Alexander. Sinclair. Elliott has found Gray. Micah Hyde. O'Connor. Passing it around neatly again, Burnley, to gift to Noel Williams. The intention was well read by Childers.
Good little work between the two strikers, aware of each other's positions.
O'Connor's found some space. Into gift to Noel Williams. Now Gray. O'Connor. And Sinclair, who continues his run forward. And Elliott fouled by Matt Hill.
Well, they're just beginning to settle. Burnley knocked the ball around really well.
Nearly foul for Jones. Noel Williams trying to set up Micah Hyde.
Well, the turn's better than the shot because it's easy for the goalkeeper. He reads it all the way, watch his feet, move along that line, and that's comfortable.
He'd love a goal, Micah Hyde, to crown what is his 100th start for Burnley. Noel Williams. Free kick given against Sean St Ledger, who'll certainly have his hand full tonight with both Noel Williams and Gray.
Be careful. The referee won't take any nonsense from him.
He got away with that one. Probably won't get away with the next one.
Well, they've settled now, Burnley. What they're doing is gifting Noel Williams and Andy Gray, pushing Childers and St Ledger back, which is leaving the space in midfield to play.
Wade Elliott takes the free kick for Burnley. The call comes from Carlo Nash.
Well, you've got to keep it away from him. He comes for most things and gets most things as well.
Achaman. Has the strength and composure to hold off Frank Sinclair. Childers. McKenna. Now Dicchio and Whaley looking to get a run on John Harley. Lovely dip of the shoulder has opened things up for him. Now Sedgwick for Dicchio.
That would have been the goal of the season if they'd have ended up. 11 passes, absolutely magnificent. I'm not sure he'd be too happy with the strike, Danny Dicchio. Didn't put his foot through the ball, it was more or less a side foot.
Well, a terrific response by the visitors to the way that Burnley were settling in the game. Here's Harley's throw. And Gray. Fired through by Steve Jones.
The goalkeeper's position important once again. And it drops to Wade Elliott. It's a hopeful strike rather than thinking it's going in the back of the net.
Matt Hill and Dicchio. You can tell he's a player full of confidence. His contribution, of course, for Preston, even when he wasn't scoring, important enough to see him as an integral part of what Paul Simpson's trying to do, but now he's added the goals to his game again. A player rejuvenated in many ways. Here's Alexander. It's a good burst forward by McKenna and a risky challenge by Thomas, but one he got right.
Yeah, he definitely did. He has to get it right as well, because Paul McKenna's just going to get to the ball first. Great touch. Well, Preston just had their best passage of play there, Bill.
In front of their travelling supporters. Pugh with the corner.
There's a few shouting at Danny Pugh there. Keep it within the confines of the 6-yard box and we've got a chance. He deserves loads and loads of credit since coming down from Carlisle. Very difficult for him at the start of the season with all the changes that happened. And now all of a sudden they look onwards and upwards. Well, when you're under pressure, you've got the ability and an ounce to control the ball as a goalkeeper, you don't cause a panic. We've seen what happens when it's lashed at the ball.
This is Graham Alexander, read by Wayne Thomas. There's talk that he'd be stripped of the captaincy after his red card here against Southampton. He has it back this evening, though.
Well, they're exploiting the space really well now, Preston.
Look where Whaley's popped up, forcing an agricultural clearance from Duff. Safety first, no-nonsense approach from the Irishman.
Basically saying to Burnley, you want to play football, you're going to make it a big pitch. We think we're better than you at it. And at this moment in time, just on those last 3 moves, I'd have to say yes.
This is a fixture that Paul Simpson was particularly looking forward to when he was up at Carlisle. Not too many local derbies, even in his closing days at Blackpool in the division. He was saying the closest one was against Rochdale, the closest one when he was up at Carlisle against Darlington. This one much closer. You can feel the intensity of the rivalry.
Done well, no doubt about it. Difficult circumstances like stand turning at the football club, not a lot of finance around and getting on with the job.
It's also be difficult as soon as you get the best out of any one of your players, then they are linked with another club and invariably tend to go. Adi Akinbai, top scorer last season, who ended up leaving.
Well, it's tight. It looks, he's on, he's definitely on. That arm in the air from Michael Duff that convinced the assistant to put the flag up. Sometimes it works and you get away with it. As happened then.
Giant figure of Brian Jensen. 2 Preston players underneath it and 2 proved enough. Here's Adjaman. Thomas anticipated, no foul. And Sinclair. Looking straight to the front for Gray and Noel Williams. Here comes Sinclair, who's continued his run. Blocked away by Matt Hill.
It's amazing that both sides are benefiting from their strikers. Once they get the ball through to their strikers, the hold-up play and the link-up play from both sets of strikers has been very good.
Wade Elliott. McKenna in there to act as the spoiler for Preston. Adjaman dispossessed by Thomas. Now Dicchio. Important block by Thomas there, otherwise Adjaman would have been away again. Well, it didn't look to be much from Duff, but it's turned out to be an excellent ball into the path of Steve Jones. In comes the cross, blocked well by Carlo Nash.
He must have called because St Ledger was right underneath that ball and he left it.
This is Danny Pugh now. Has Adjaman to his left-hand side. Now McKenna. Alexander. Showed already tonight he's not afraid to get forward. Look for Adjaman. Flag goes up, but play will go on. Burnley in possession, but not for long. This time it doesn't work out for Duff.
Well, you're looking out for Gifton Noel Williams. It's into his feet or into his chest. ping him in the corners for him.
It's been a fascinating first half to this first half. Both sides just sizing each other up, looking for weaknesses. Two pretty tight defences out there, both with identical records in terms of conceding goals, both 12 so far in the 13 league games that have been contested up to now. Here's Paul McKenna. And Alexander. Plenty of yellow inside that Burnley penalty area. Now settled for a corner.
Well, you can bet your bottom dollar that Danny Pugh won't overhit this one after the last time he was slaughtered by his teammates.
Mahon, a significant presence in and around the goal area. Sinclair's trying to take care of him. It's a better one. And coming in behind was Liam Chilvers.
That's really well done. And Frank Sinclair's beaten all ends up. He's got to runs round him, Chilvers, and he just nudges him in the back as he's about to head the ball, but there's no complaints because he's just not quite getting there. It's too high for Chilvers.
Turned down the opportunity to stay at Colchester, Liam Chilvers, despite their promotion to the Championship last season. And has settled in particularly well to this new-look Preston setup, particularly new-look Preston defence. Think of the departures, the likes of Tyrone Mears, who left for West Ham, Claude Davis, and Mahon, who is at the club but won't really feature this season due to the knee injury picked up in pre-season. Not to come off a hand of Andy Gray, and the referee gives the free kick.
Well, they wanted the foul. Andy Gray wanted the foul first. He felt he was nudged. Was the reason why he handled the ball in the first place. Still having a go at the ref.
Dicchio.
We've had some good approach play, but no shots on target.
Noel Williams making his presence felt. Here's Andy Gray. St Ledger did enough, and that's the sort of situation that Gray can be so dangerous in.
If you look at the Preston backline, they've dropped into their own 18-yard box from a kick from Brian Jensen. They're asking for trouble.
Steve Jones. Take on Simon Whaley. And Whaley clear. Preston just content to get it in the opponent's half and regroup.
Paul Simpson will be happy to see that. St Ledger at last meeting the ball in a position where they can clear it rather than wait for it to bounce and be on top of their goalkeeper. Carlo Nash just having a word with him, saying you've got to push out.
Dicchio. They found Whaley. For once he's one-on-one with John Harley. Micah Hyde with the touchback, and Harley should have time to clear here. Now Andy Gray to Steve Jones. Beyond Alexander. Looks promising for Burnley.
Well, he's had 2 or 3 looks there, and there's no movement up front for him.
Anticipation by Chilvers was required, and it was executed well. Now Achaman.
That's why he's so well thought of, Wayne Thomas. He's strong enough and quick enough to deal with situations like that.
Off the referee it comes, and it's in Burnley's favour as Hyde. And pick out Elliott. Getting some joy at the moment, the Burnley wide men. Now back to O'Connor. This is James O'Connor.
It actually hits Micah Hyde and James O'Connor. Just got themselves in front of him, puts himself in a brilliant position. I think they're probably looking for the cutback, but Micah Hyde's got himself right in that position there, and because of the pace on the ball, he can't move his body out of the way, and bang, hits him and goes out for the goal kick. Micah Hyde, don't get too far forward. That's what that note says.
Ledger this time was the victim.
Well, he's feeling victimised, Andy Gray, because he's thinking, I'm not doing a lot wrong, I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm trying to go for the ball in the same way, but you can see that the arm came across St Ledger's face. Zero tolerance on that these days.
Dickio the target. It was Duff who got the head to it. Sedgwick! What a terrific effort!
Brilliant. It's a textbook volley. It's magnificent. He keeps his eye on it the whole time, and it's in the air for an eternity, and he's just waiting for it to come down, and he hits it superb. Absolutely superb, and it just drifts wide because it comes off the outside of the boot. Beautiful technique, but just not the finish he wanted.
What a way that would have been to open his account for the season. Chris Sedgwick, who's a player who's been rejuvenated since the arrival of Paul Simpson. Preston need to turn their minds to defence now, though, as Jones's cross is too deep for everyone. Danny Pugh first on the scene. Whaley got in the way of that clearance from Duff. Sedgwick, Dickio. McKenna keeps it alive for the men in yellow, but not for long. O'Connor. Gray. It's excellent control to find Steve Jones, who has one thing on his mind. A block from the captain Alexander, who'd come across to help out his less experienced central defenders. Sinclair in now, Harley's forward.
Not strong in the air, John Harley at the far post, and can't really deal with that.
A Prem Plus double up and coming tomorrow. Sheffield United against Chelsea first up from 12:30. And then following it, the action is from St James's Park. Newcastle against Charlton. That is from 5 o'clock. Pugh. Jones again. Micah Hyde, oh, to recover. This is John Harley, and well to keep the move alive. Alexander now to Atchaman. And Hyde, out-muscled by McKenna, who carries on his run, has Whaley to his right. Important interception again by Thomas, who so far hasn't put a foot wrong in his return to action for the first time in a month.
Anticipation and interception. It's all it's about for the big defender there. And Paul McKenna's won so many challenges in midfield for Preston tonight.
Here he is on the ball now, McKenna. And Hill, signs that Preston are just finding their rhythm again. In towards Dickio, trying to set it up for Atchaman, and Duff was able to clear.
Great centre forward play. Nugent wish he'd have been there then, could he'd have read that one.
Atchaman trying to return the favour, but similar result doesn't quite work out as Preston would have wanted. Steve Jones. End-to-end stuff at the moment. Jones for Burnley, Gray in the middle. Terrific effort under the circumstances.
That's great play by Steve Jones. It's hard to get past Graham Alexander because he's so experienced. Gives himself space and time, but just the movement's good enough. Very hard to deal with in the middle there for Gray. You've got to try and flick it with the slightest of touches across. You've got people tackling him. Very difficult.
Last time Andy Gray found the back of the net was when he contributed 2 goals to that 4-1 defeat of Norwich City at Carrow Road. Elliott for Sinclair, now Gray. He's drawn St Ledger out wide, but the slip allowed the former Peterborough man in. And now here's Adjaman up through the gears. This is what they've missed while he's been out. Pace and power. Freezes beyond Elliott, still it's Adjaman, and Duff able to stand up.
Keep your eye on the ball, that's what Michael Duff does. Doesn't get carried away like O'Connor. O'Connor's searching and struggling and trying to get back. That's Wade Elliott, I should say.
Left on this first half. It's been excellent derby fare, not much between the sides. Paul Simpson perhaps seeing his side go marginally closer. Danny Dichio's offside effort, and that wonderful, beautiful volley by Sedgwick, which went just wide.
Just had some good midfield play between the two 18-yard boxes, and both defences have been very mean inside the 18-yard boxes of both defences.
Whaley. Here's Pugh, who's coming off that left flank. Space that's occupied by Adjaman at the moment.
You see how much space there is in midfield. So acres, and then it's tighter the further forward you get.
Here is Adjaman trying to bulldoze his way through again. He's won another corner here for Preston. From the left-hand side, it's going to be Paul McKenna rather than Danny Pugh to deliver. Pugh's come across to offer the short option. Dichio did his best to get there, but very congested.
It's a waste, isn't it? It really is. It's overhit. Michael Duff can see Dichio coming, so all he's got to do is stand his ground. Give me a decent ball. That's what he'll be saying at half-time to his teammates.
Dichio did enough, but he's got a nasty bang to the head as he got caught in a sandwich with Thomas and Harley.
Yeah, it's accidental, isn't it? John Harley in front, who actually catches him on the back of the head. His eyes are on the ball. John Harley doesn't know Dichio's there.
Not the first bang like that Danny Dichio's taken in his career, and I'm sure it won't be the last. He's fine. Preston looking to get their noses in front before half-time. Will very much be in Burnley's game plan as well. Both feel that this is a game that they can win, and both have approached it in that manner. McKenna. Well worked by Preston to get the cross away in the end through Alexander.
He'll be the happier of the two managers. You can see a bit of encouragement there. They haven't looked like they're going to score against us. Maybe we haven't looked like scoring, but we'll give as good as we've got in midfield, and we can improve on what we've done.
It's going to be a Preston throw here. Came off Andy Gray last as the referee's assistant. And for all the good start they've made, Burnley, they don't have the best of records against sides in the top half of the Championship. Just 2 points in 5 games so far against the pace setters. Unbeaten, though, in 6 games against the sides in the bottom half of the table. And they're up against one of the informed sides at the moment, Preston. Of course, if they can prevail here, will go level on points with Cardiff at the top of the Coca-Cola Championship table. Sinclair with the free kick.
What a waste. What a waste. It gets worse for Steve Cotterill. Big gift to Noel Williams. Andy Gray. Decent balls into them, gives them a chance.
It did go out before Cedric got it clear, so Burnley will have a chance to launch it in via Frank Sinclair, I'm sure.
It's amazing, you get a free kick in a good position, and you launch it in the air, you get a throw in an even worse position, and you decide to throw this one in rather than play it on the ground.
Well, Wayne Thomas has come forward for that very purpose. He's the target, along with Gifton Noel Williams. Dickio's taken another bang to the head. His clearance and up and under, which hasn't done the job. Micah Hyde's touch. And McKenna for Preston to add an element of composure. John Harley has an excellent attendance record this year. He's played every game in 2006. Gifton Noel Williams now to Micah Hyde. And Jones. Whaley's back to help out. No chance he'll skip beyond Alexander like he did just a few minutes ago this time.
It's been really evident on both sides, the amount of effort that midfield players have put in to help the defenders out.
Micah Hyde, space for Frank Sinclair. Elliott came off Gifton Noel Williams, and Matt Hill on hand to hoover up. Danny Dickio down there's in some discomfort. He had that clash of heads earlier on with John Harley, of course. Certainly got hit in a similar sort of area as he was helping out defensively, and I think he's been signalling to the bench he might have broken his nose.
He's old school though, isn't he? He's not rolling around on the ground. Might have broken it, but let's get on with the game and sort it out at half-time. Well, he's been in the wars. There's the one that might have broken his nose. And before then, he had another one.
Noel Williams, back to Steve Jones. He's got his cross away, it's a useful one as well, and Carlo Nash did exactly what he had to do.
Decision making with goalkeepers. Come and get it out the area. Good stuff.
Wonderful last line of defence he provides, Carlo Nash. No fluke that they have this wonderful defensive record, particularly last season. Tend to concede more goals this year. The results have been a lot better. 9 points better off Preston than they were this time last year. Having said that, under Billy Davis, they went on that wonderful 22-game unbeaten run, which propelled them into the playoffs for a semi-final defeat to Leeds United.
Well, it promised so much. Hasn't delivered yet, but 2 hours of football are never the same.
Harley. Pugh was back in his own half, and it was almost like Matt Hill was bereft of any sort of ideas as to what to do. It's back with big Brian Jensen, who hasn't had too many saves to make. Carlo Nash has had to clear a few things out, but not too many shots on goal in the first half. Alexander, terrific pressing by Burnley, and they get their reward. Harley, it's fallen near the gift of Noel Williams, just took too long, but it's finished off by James O'Connor. A derby lead for Burnley, and it's James O'Connor.
Oh, well, they'll be kicking themselves, Preston, because they didn't clear it, but James O'Connor following up brilliantly. Look at the determination to win the ball from Burnley. Don't hang around messing about. Graham Alexander hanging around on the ball. John Harley does absolutely superb. He picks up the pieces. Gift to Noel Williams, gets away from Chilvers, and who's hanging around just on the edge of the box to pick up the pieces? If it drops, it's James O'Connor, and it drops beautifully for him, just a side foot into the corner. Carlo Nash, absolutely no chance. Look at the angle Nash is looking at. Can he save it? Not a chance. That's buried in the bottom corner. And look at the delight from Stevie Cotterill.
What a time to score as well in the last minute of normal time at the end of this first half. First blood to Burnley.
Well, it all changes now. There's only one manager who'll be happy at half-time, and that's Stevie Cotterill.
Just the 1 minute to be added on. Suddenly a very different complexion on his team talk. Mind you, Preston have the best record in the Championship at coming behind and getting something from games. Their last away game, they were 2-0 down at Ipswich Town, came back to win by 3-2. Burnley in front, but don't believe that Preston are by any means down and out just yet. Sets it up beautifully for the second half.
Paul Simpson look at his team and think, well, we haven't played as an attacking force. But Stevie Cotterill will look exactly the same, and he'll say to his players, look, we're a goal in front. We haven't had to work that hard to get it. Let's add a few more.
Wayne Thomas underneath this, unopposed. O'Connor in strongly. Here's Pugh. And there is the half-time whistle. A giant roar around Turf Moor, and it's due to the last-minute heroics of that man. The third goal of the season from James O'Connor, the Lancashire hotshot. It's Burnley who lead by 1-0 at half-time.
Is that against the run of play? We'll get the views of Steve Clarets in a few seconds. Burnley have the lead thanks to James O'Connor. It's a Lancashire hot pot that's simmering just nicely.